be modeling this Whiskey boy. We're gonna begin modeling his beautiful body, giving it some nice depth just off of a basic cube. I get a little bit of struggle when trying to make his hole. I tried using Boolean modifiers, but for whatever reason, because there was some loophole issue, I wasn't able to use it correctly, and all it did was disrupt my model. Eventually, I did figure it out though, and we move on to the lower torso. Once again, we just start with a basic cube, and then smooth it out until it kinda just looks like the Blender's torso. Now on to the indent in there. It was pretty simple. All you had to do was warp the geometry until it was inside of itself. Now we work on his little nubs, which are literally just smoothed out cubes, which is really easy to do if you know what you're doing. Now on to his head, which was simply just two cubes that I extruded out into the shape of his face, his beautiful face. You can simply give his face a little bit of depth and everything will be perfect. Except for what I'm assuming to be the battery pack on the back of his head, which I almost forgot to add. Now we move on to the legs, which are literally just an extrusion of the torso, brought down, made really skinny, and then brought back out again for legs. Now on to the main attraction, the whisk. I started by extruding a nerves curve until it had the general shape of the whisk head itself. I converted it to geometry and extruded it out to give it thickness, and then used solidify modifier to give it more thickness. I then mirrored it on all four sides to create the general whisk shape, and then put more geometry through the middle to create the final whisk. I attached it to its face and mirrored it on both sides. I gave them some rotation so that they wouldn't be clipping into each other, but they still were. I spent a while trying to fix this until I realized all I needed to do was extend some of the whisk parts inward. Now that the modeling portion was done, we had to start painting. I made a texture and applied the reference image to it so that I could simply just mask the texture over. I then spent what felt like forever trying to mask these textures properly, because I'm really bad at it. Now time to give him a scene. Unfortunately, I forgot to record me making this box with texture on it. I know, boo-hoo. Anyways, I gave him a box, I parented the objects to each other because I forgot to do that earlier, and prepared to start setting up lighting. Now, I tried making one of those lamps from the game, because I know those are everywhere and it will help light up the scene overall. I gave it an emission modifier and put the stem on top of it. Not even really a stem, it's just a wire. I made it black and proceeded to put the actual lights in. Now you get to frantically watch me trying to figure out why on earth the lights aren't working the way I'm wanting them to. I tried every kind of light until I settled on the flat lights because they only illuminate the target that they're put in front of. It's very useful. I've used it in a lot of my scenes, and you know, the other methods just, I spent forever on this. I spent a little bit focusing in the camera and resetting the scene, and this is the result. Tell me what you think and what I should make next in the comments below.